Hi guys, welcome to the Raven Wolf channel. This is Anna, and today I'm very excited to bring this video to you guys. And we're gonna be talking about, or I'm gonna be talking about, the Aztec and Mayan god named Xolotl and some similarities with Anubis from the Egyptian pantheon. So, according to the Aztec and Mayan mythology, Xolotl was a deity normally associated with Quetzalcoatl, one of the most important gods in the Aztec pantheon. As a matter of fact, Xolotl was regarded to be the twin of Quetzalcoatl. The Aztecs worshipped Xolotl as the god of lightning and fire. Dogs were associated with Xolotl. Xolotl's twin, Quetzalcoatl, in some myth appeared together. The two gods are believed to be born of Cuatlicue, which means skirt of snakes. And I actually talked about Cuatlicue. I did a mini series of Cuatlicue. So if you guys haven't checked it out, you should go watch it. So she was a primordial earth goddess. In one version of a particularly well-known myth, that of the creation of mankind, Quetzalcoatl and his twin traveled to Mictlan, the Aztec underworld, to retrieve the bones of the dead so that humans can be created. It may be added that it was also Xolotl who brought fire from the underworld to the humans. Xolotl and Quetzalcoatl also were believed to have constituted the twin faces of the planet Venus, as the Aztec believed that the former was the evening star and then later the morning star. As the evening star, Xolotl had the important task in the Aztec mythology of guiding and guarding the sun on its nightly journey through the underworld, and the newly deceased on their journey to the underworld. In Aztec and Maya mythology, the underworld, Xibalba for the Maya, and Mictlan for the Aztecs, play an important role. In beliefs of these ancient people, death was closely incorporated into the world of the living, and death is evident in almost every aspect of the Aztec and Maya through culture and tradition. The Aztec and Maya mythology describe what will happen to the spirit once the individual has died. It was believed that the soul of the ordinary people went to the underworld called Mictlan, the place of the dead. Each soul wandered through the layers of the Mictlan until it reached the deepest level. Both the Maya's Xibalba and the Aztec Mictlan symbolize a realm in which violations of moral rules were punished. According to the ancient belief of these people, at the time of death, the individual had to make a trip back to the maternal womb, to its place of origin. That's why the deceased was placed in a fetal position, and his or her soul would have to undertake the trip to Mictlan and across the 9 hazards and dangers, as it is happening inside the womb during the 9 lost menstrual periods and the 9-month-long pregnancy. For the Aztecs, the world of the afterlife was arranged in 13 layers of heaven and 9 of the underworld. The fate of the deceased was determined on the basis of how this person died. I believe that in some ways reminds of the Norse mythology. So most of these who died in a violent death enter the heavenly realm. One of the layers in heaven was reserved for Valhalla sacrificial victims, those who died in combat, and for women who died in childbirth, who were recognized as warriors who fell to the battling infant. Another place was reserved for those who committed suicide. According to the Aztec beliefs, yet another heavenly realm was reserved for those who drowned and those who were struck by a lightning. Since the Maya had a written language, we can see a dog god like Xolotl existed thousands of years before the height of the Aztec Empire. In a famous bark paper book called the Dresden Codex, Ancient Maya artists depicted a dog god carrying a lightning bolt and is associated with the death. He comes down from the shadows of and shepherds souls to the next life, much like the Aztec god Xolotl. In the Mayan myth, the dog god is also responsible for giving fire to mankind, as sort of a canine version of Prometheus. Sometimes the dog god is referred as the lightning beast in the classic Maya inscriptions. Archaeologists have long discovered dog remains in burials from commoners to the elite throughout ancient Mexico. Xolo is a Mexican hairless dog. I'm gonna show you guys some pictures. But Xolo's bones were even found underneath the Templo Mayor on the main temple in the former Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. Now is the center of modern Mexico City. The ancients saw Xolos as a bridge from this life to the next. In many cases, on the death of a family member, the survivor would sadly sacrifice a dog that was closely to the deceased and bury them along him or her. The loyal dog of the earthly life will help its master travel to the afterlife. The Aztec underworld called Mictlan, which I already mentioned. The god Xolotl is the main guide of all things through Mictlan, including the sun who accompanies every day in the ceremonial daily death. Xolotl usually do not have eyes in his many artistic depictions. As the legend goes, when a group of old gods sacrifice themselves to create a new world, the present world, the one we now in, the dog-headed Xolotl wept so much that he literally cried his eyes out. When crossing over the Mictlan, the newly dead must forth a very deep river. The dog, along with Xolotl himself, help people navigate this dangerous waterway to cross over their new lives. In ancient Aztec belief system, the spirit of dogs are recycled. So now I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Xolo, the dog. So I know it can be confusing with Xolotl, which that's the god of the underworld, and Xolo. But anyways, Xolo, the full name is actually Xoloitzcuintli, which is known to be one of the world's oldest and rarest breeds of dogs dating back over 3,000 years. The breed name is derived from the name of the Aztec Indian god Xolotl, combined with Xoloitzcuintli, which is the Aztec word for dog. So according to the Aztec mythology, the god Xolotl made the Xolo from a sliver of the bone of life from which all mankind was made. Xolotl gave this gift to men with the instructions to guard it with his life, and in exchange it will give guide to men through the dangers of the Mictlan, towards the evening star in the heavens. Its theme as a guard and protectors, Xolos were believed to safeguard the homes from evil spirits as well as intruders. Xolos have been discovered in the tombs of the Toltec, Aztec, Maya, Zapotec, and Colima Indians. So now you probably are wondering what this has to do with Anubis, since I mentioned that at the beginning. Well, I'm gonna go into that in a minute, but yeah. So the head of the Egyptian god Anubis looks eerily like a Xolo, with its tall, bat-like ears and thin neck and longer snout. The god Xolotl is often represented as a dog-headed man. So in some artistic representations of the dogs Xolotl and Anubis are very hard to tell apart from each other, which I thought that was very interesting. So could it be Anubis in Mexico? So I'm gonna mention another similarities between them two. So like the Aztec god Xolotl, Anubis also served as a guide for the souls to the underworld. In addition, Anubis judged a person at the time of death to see if he or she was worth to make the journey. So does these similarities in canines gods suggest an ancient Mexico and ancient Egypt connection? Dogs accompany people as guides to the underworld in two cultures which supposedly had no contact with each other. Is it just a coincidence? Yeah, I don't think so. Xolotl and Anubis, they're both associated with activities occurring between the death and the arrival in the afterlife, whichever one that might be. They were not necessarily lords of the underworld themselves, but they were certainly have associations with the darker side of things. Anubis has also association with the dog star Sirius, and it was his job to determine if a dead soul could enter to the court of Osiris. And as with Anubis, Xolotl has also a counterpart, a twin or a double, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who represents Venus as a morning star. Just as the Egyptian god Anubis is associated with the twin star recognized as Sirius. So, you will not be surprised to find that the god Xolotl is an alternate aspect as a double dancing dogs, representing the dog star Sirius. I believe that the Mesoamerican sculpture of the dancing dogs mimic the intimate rotation orbit of the twin stars known as Sirius A and Sirius B, in the depiction of the two dogs dancing around each other. So with that, I learned that the significance of the dog star Sirius and the parallels between Egyptian god Anubis and the Mesoamerican god Xolotl. Xolotl accompanies Quetzalcoatl in his defense to the underworld to retrieve the bones of mankind. Then he assembles the bones of the dead and restores them to life, much in the same manner that Anubis resurrected the December body of Osiris. So, knowing this, it leaves me with more questions like, what could connect Xolotl to Anubis? I'm curious to know your answers to that. But anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, please leave a comment and let me know what do you think is the connection between these two, Xolotl and Anubis. All right, you guys, I will talk to you guys very soon in La Cache.